retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Thanks for their disease. Just like a weed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to a very special edition Thursday stream. We are streaming live on 4 different platforms across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different accounts. And man, oh man, we got another loaded show, as Thursdays are pretty much becoming my day. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, now it's X, formerly known as Twitter, handle, shit. Do you smell that? That is succulent. That is invigoratingly glorious. You know what that is right there? Take a good long breath in. You just gotta feel it. You just gotta go. That right there is the smell of pure motherfucking excellence. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind, and you better believe I am rocking and rolling here tonight, because this is the official rundown for WWE FastLane, which of course is streaming live on the Peacock, that is. Please get your mind out of the gutter, you fucking savages. Peacock, this Saturday from Indianapolis, Indiana, of course, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And James Punaseca, I'm assuming, considering you haven't made any comments regarding my mic, I'm assuming that my mic is okay. If my mic starts acting faulty, please let me know. I can always count on you to let me know when I need to adjust my technology over here. Trust me, I know. Technology blows. Technology absolutely blows, and hopefully we will be free from any technical difficulties for the remainder of the stream. Of course, we're probably going to go a solid 90 minutes, as we usually do with the rundown. I would like to thank each and every single one of you for tuning on in. So far, James Punaseca is the only one that's commentating. If you haven't commentated on YouTube, please do so there. And of course, James Punaseca he just recently received his official DJ Storms t-shirt and wristband as well. Looks like a fan. Guess you needed a fan since you have none. Excuse me, Julitza? Excuse me? Everybody wants to be a fan of DJ Storms, aight? So please, make sure you check yourself because you've already wrecked yourself. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about, to say the least. Obviously, we're going to dissect everything that's going down at FastLane. I do have a rant that I want to get out regarding NXT and their blatant pettiness that's going down next Tuesday on the USA Network because AEW was forced onto Tuesdays because of the MLB playoffs, and some people want to come out of the woodworks and claim, well, what's NXT supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to share the market space when AEW is trying to counter-program them? These fucking retards come out of the woodworks to try and justify the blatant pettiness of NXT. How about NXT actually make do with the roster that they have? The show is an over-convoluted fucking mess of epic proportions. And trust me, we're going to rant on that. We're actually going to rant on that first thing. But I do want to get a few things out here. Of course, first things first, if you have not already done so, please make sure that you are following me on social media, both on X and on Instagram. And I'm completely out of it right now. This is how stressful I've been at work. I got the wrong banner flown on the bottom right there. I got the lightning flash update banner flown on the fucking bottom right there. Let me correct myself. There we go. Now it's the rundown. Now it's okay. Now everything's correct, or at least everything should be correct going forward. Please make sure you follow me on social media, whether it be on X or Instagram, at HistoryMakerDJS. Once again, at HistoryMakerDJS, both on X and Instagram. Please make sure that you add me on my personal Facebook as well. For collaborations and business inquiries, please make sure that you send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Please make sure that you like the official DJ Storms business page, which we are live on right now. And I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all of those links are in the description as we speak. It is very, very vital that you share me out so that way everyone can get a little dose of DJ Storms. Everyone needs a little bit of DJ Shizzle Dizzle in their life because it is a known fact that when I'm part of people's lives, things just become better. I enhance people's lives. That's just how it goes. It's a fact of life. And if you ain't getting your dose of DJ Storms, you ain't living. Please make sure, if you haven't already done so, go check out the rewind for NXT No Mercy. That streamed live this past Sunday, October 1st at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern Time with the rewind for No Mercy. And we dissected what was, surprisingly, a very, very, very solid show for the 2 hours and 45 minutes that it went. We did have two very good matches in the closing segments of the show with Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes, and then Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton in an Extreme Rules match. We also had a very, very good Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker. They had a decent little match for the time that they were given. That is up on the channel right now, and the link is also in the description. So if you have not already done so, please go and check it out. If you missed it, I believe we are almost at 100 views for the rewind for NXT No Mercy. Also, we went 3.5 hours, if you could believe that. 3.5 hours with HooliGrim. 3.5 hours with HooliGrim. This past Monday, I was off on Monday. I was off from work on Monday, and thank God that tomorrow was Friday, but I was off from work on Monday, and me and HooliGrim, we went 3.5 hours from 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. dissecting everything that went down at AEW WrestleDream, and it was one hell of a show. Not the best pay-per-view that AEW's put on, but it was still an excellent show, and it was easily in the top 5 pay-per-views of the year, especially the last 4 matches on that show. And if you haven't gone out of your way to watch Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland, please go out of your way to watch it, because that was a damn good match. And I mean a damn good match. And it has absolutely elevated Swerve Strickland tenfold. If anything, I would have Swerve Strickland win the TNT Championship, if I'm going to be quite honest. I would like to also throw out a special shout out to one of my sponsorships, that being my girl Brittany K. Shout out to her. She's a wonderful human being, a wonderful individual, very, very big supporter of the DJ Storms brand, and I am very, very proud to call her a friend. She does beautifully crafted designs from scratch on her iPad of professional wrestlers from any and all wrestling companies, and she also does X banners and Abbies. So if you're looking for a new banner or Abby, or if you're looking to have a beautifully crafted picture, a beautifully crafted design of a pro wrestler from whatever company, from whatever show, it doesn't matter. Go and hit her up. She is amazing. She is super talented. Her X account is Brittany K5150, and her Instagram account is Brittany K Designs. Go check her out. Those 2 links are in the description. Shout out to PWP Nation, created by Jay Aletto. Jay Aletto, of course, has acquired me as an official admin of the PWP Nation Facebook page, in which I am making posts on there. I try at least once or twice a day to get my name out there, to drop the facts, because everything that comes out of my mouth is the gospel truth. There is not one single thing that has come out of my mouth that is a lie, and everyone is going to acknowledge that. You're going to have to get with the program, people, because I am God around these parts. When it comes to pro wrestling, DJ Storms rules all, and it's about time that all of you understand that. I'm going to have to give Jay the beats next week, because next week, me and Jay are actually going live for World of Wrestling Episode 2. We're going to talk about FastLane. We're going to talk about WrestleDream. We're going to talk about Tiffany Stratton and her status after her 2 losses to Becky Lynch. She's buried. I'm sorry. I got like a nasty post-nasal drip. She's buried. We're also going to talk about Adam Cole's injury. Is it legit or is it a work? And we're also going to talk about the surprising increase in television quality across WWE main roster television. What is the cause of that? Is there something going on backstage that we don't know? Is the government investigation of Vince McMahon taking place and it's not being made public? We're going to discuss that as well. So we got plenty of good topics coming to you guys next Tuesday, October 12th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for World of Wrestling. You can also check out pwpnation.com, and of course, follow the PWP Nation Facebook page. We are closing in on 40,000 subscribers. You are not going to want to miss out on anything going around PWP Nation's parts of the woods. Trust me, 40,000 followers over on the PWP Nation Facebook page. It is massive. We are growing at a rapid rate. Not to brag or anything, but I think we all know the reason why. Anyway, please make sure, if you have not already done so, you go and check out CISRecruiters.com. Corporate Information System is an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. Corporate Information System is a wildly touted, recruited company by Forbes.com that named it one of the best recruiting firms in America. I'm telling you, it's the real deal. So if you're looking to find a job or potentially enhance your career, go and check out CISRecruiters.com. www.CISRecruiters.com. Go and meet the team members and get your career on the right path, because I'm telling you, in today's market, jobs are very, very, very hard to secure, because the market right now is very, very weak. But CIS Recruiters, I'm telling you, they will get the job done for you. They are excellent at what they do. Very, very happy to have them as an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. Please make sure that you haven't already done so. Please like the stream, no matter where you're watching it from, whether you're watching it from Facebook or Twitch or YouTube or X. Incredibly, incredibly vital that you share the stream out, like the stream, no matter where you're watching it from. Share it out on all platforms, social media, whether it be Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever social media platforms that you may be using. So that way, it gets my name out there, it gets hardcore sports out there, and everyone that sees the stream will stop on by, and they're going to get their dose of DJ Shizzle Dizzle My Nizzle, because everyone needs a little bit of DJ Storms in their life, because like I already said, without me, are you really living? No, you're not. Also, please make sure, if you haven't already done so, if you're watching on my YouTube channel or the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. We are trying to grow at a rapid pace. We are very, very close to 1,000 subs on the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel. And, of course, on my channel, we are very, very close to 2,200. I'm trying to boost up these watch hours as well. So, hopefully, the rundown for Fastlane tonight is absolutely going to help that. So please make sure you hit the subscribe button, whether you're watching on the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel or my YouTube channel. And when you hit the subscribe button, you got to hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you're going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, it is the absolute best time to be on YouTube. You know why? Because it's the only time that you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Hold on, it's lodged away in my pocket somewhere. I just gotta find it. Oh yeah, you already know what time it is. This beautifully crafted magical ace comb. Hold on a minute, I gotta blow on it. It's so hot. We're gonna light it up right here on the stream, on the rundown, on a Thursday with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because, like, beautifully crafted beef lo mein and chicken fried rice right out of a Chinese buffet. I am just so good. I am the tastiest snack in the IWC. Hold on, a couple hairs are out of place right here. There you go. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. You already know the drill. I mean, come on. Anyway, why don't we skip the pageantries now, and why don't we get right into the festivities here on the rundown? Telling you, there is nothing more refreshing than cool ice water. And especially right now, because I swear to God, it still feels like summer weather out there. It is unbelievable what October is bringing us. This week has felt like summer all over again. I'm telling you, Mother Nature does not know what she wants to do. She doesn't. I'm hoping the weekend, it's just a little bit cooler. Because the fact that I'm putting the AC on in my room in the summer, and then I got to do it in October, that's a problem. But Fastlane only has 5 matches booked. But before we get into Fastlane, I want to educate people, because that's what I do. I educate people. Now, some people might not understand it, but when it comes to me, I'm never wrong when it comes to pro wrestling. And if I am wrong, you know that I'm going to admit that. But when it comes to pro wrestling, I know all. There is not a person that should be denying me. And the reason why people deny me is because if they said what they know is the straw that's going to break the camel's back, if they admit that I'm right, they'd be giving me what I want. See, they know that if they admit that I'm right, they're going to gain me more traction and they're going to gain me more attention. Either way, I'm going to gain attention and traction with or without these fucking nimrods telling me that I'm right, because I already know that I'm right. I don't have to convince anyone that I'm right, because at the end of the day, everything that comes out of my mouth is a fact. You know why? Because I speak objective, not subjective. Everything I speak is objectively true. Nothing that comes out of my mouth is an opinion, it's fact. So, when I tell you that NXT is the worst brand in the industry, that is fact. That is not opinion, that is fact. And whether you want to admit it or not, you're going to have to deal with it. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's true. AEW was forced onto Tuesday night next week because of the MLB playoffs. At least I believe it's from the MLB playoffs because they're getting straight into it. They're not wasting any time. MLB playoffs are going on right now. With the MLB playoffs going on, you can imagine that they're probably going to move around Dynamite once or twice, and they want to have it go unopposed. And on Tuesdays, we have a wrestling show, a different wrestling show, a shitty wrestling show known as NXT, not from a talent standpoint. I've never shit on the talent when it comes to NXT. NXT sucks because it has terrible creative writing. And on top of that, they use main roster superstars willy-nilly with no rhyme or reason whatsoever. No rhyme or reason whatsoever. And it takes away from the younger talent down there. I tend to go back and forth a lot with Jay regarding the WWE and how he's just, for lack of a better term, he really is, in a sense, a WWE shill. I like him. I really do. And I'm very, very happy that I got to meet him last Saturday. But you know, he wants to come out of the woodworks, call me an AEW shill, and people want to call me an AEW shill. I can call you WWE cucks. Right back to you. Because that's what you are. See, here's the thing. Unlike most people in the IWC, I'm fair. Truth be told, I don't necessarily think that Jay is fair in his criticisms. And I'll probably tell him that next Thursday. But NXT, this past Tuesday, announced that next week, Asuka, who is a SmackDown superstar, will be going to NXT next week to take on Roxanne Perez. On top of that, Paul Heyman and John Cena, who are currently on the SmackDown brand, they are going to be involved with NXT next week because there's a match between Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. And Carmelo Hayes gave the excuse of, well, I spoke to John Cena and he's going to be in my corner next week for my match against Braun Breaker. And then Paul Heyman, who is currently embroiled in a program with John Cena and LA Knight, along with the Bloodline, and the rumored plan is John Cena and Roman at Crown Jewel, Paul Heyman is going to be in Braun Breaker's corner. But it doesn't end there. No. It doesn't end there. Because they, out of nowhere, announced legitimately, right out of their ass, they pulled this. Cody Rhodes, the bum named Cody Rhodes, Mr. Adrenaline in my soul. Whoa, I've been booked like shit all year. Oh, that Cody Rhodes. Rhodes. He's going to be on NXT next week with a major announcement. I'm going to be on NXT with a major announcement. And when I saw all of these announcements, I was fucking seething. I had steam coming out of my ears. I wanted to break my TV. That may have been the most I've raged as a wrestling fan, probably since WrestleMania 34. I legitimately shut that pay-per-view off after the AJ Styles Shinsuke Nakamura match because of how bad they portrayed both of those men that night, how they held them back, how it was just a very lukewarm, very lackluster match that didn't even break out of the first gear. And it was just a complete, and I mean a complete clusterfuck of an event that ended with one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. I was seething at that show. I was seething on that night, which I believe was April 8th, April 8th, I believe, 2018, if I'm not mistaken. I wasn't happy. I was not happy. I was not happy this past Tuesday, not because of the fact that the main roster stars are simply appearing on NXT. It's the intent. A lot of people want to insinuate that I have an agenda against NXT. No, I don't have an agenda against NXT. The show just sucks donkey balls. It's not that hard to understand. All you need to do is watch the show. If you watch the show and you are not understanding why it sucks donkey cock, you're the fucking problem with the IWC. I'm sorry. AEW was put on Tuesday night with absolutely no intent of counter-programming NXT. People want to bitch and moan and say, well, what about Edge and Luchasaurus being booked for Title Tuesday? Edge was booked in a match against Luchasaurus, or Adam Copeland was booked in a match against Luchasaurus for the simple fact of they're not on their normal night. They're not on their normal night, so they need to book a big match in order to retain the viewers that they're possibly going to, that they will definitely lose on Tuesday night. They don't give a shit about NXT. AEW's never given a shit about NXT. AEW's whooped NXT's ass many times over. AEW owns NXT. AEW has owned NXT for a long, long time in terms of ratings and in terms of quality. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about when you're trying to insinuate that AEW is trying to counter-program NXT by putting Edge in a wrestling match against Luchasaurus. They did that because they are fighting an uphill battle because they're not on their normal night. It has nothing to do with NXT. You know why I'm pissed at WWE? You know why I was fucking seething? You know why it is pathetic at what WWE is doing? You know why it's absolutely undefendable? You know why people are upset? It's because of the intent behind it. It's pure pettiness. I'm sorry to tell you, but competition, it don't make the product better whatsoever. I'm sorry, but whatever this narrative of, competition makes the product better, it don't do shit. It may have worked in the Monday Night Wars era, but during the Monday Night Wars, that was an era where anything could happen. Nothing was off the table. That was an era unlike any era in pro wrestling. It will never be duplicated again. Nowadays, competition, it's not fucking fun anymore. Competition does not make pro wrestling fun whatsoever. Dynamite is not fun when they're trying to compete against NXT. NXT is not fun when they're trying to counter-program AEW. Matter of fact, both products are worse when they're counter-programming each other. NXT has gotten worse since it started to go head-to-head with AEW. Ever since that first show on the USA Network, they have gone downhill week over week, month after month, year over year. I don't give a fuck what their ratings are. I don't give a fuck how much revenue they're bringing in. I don't give a fuck what the 18 to 49 demographic is. NXT sucks hippopotamus dick. And that is a fucking fact. And if you don't comprehend that, too bad. You can suck my dick. Your mother's already occupying that position, but trust me, I can swap her out for you if you want. And another thing, I find it so hilarious. I really do. So hilarious how WWE wants to go out of their way. Vince McMahon wants to go out of his way and say, oh, we don't really see AEW as competition the same way that we looked at WCW as competition, pal. Ah. But yet, here they are pulling John Cena out of their ass and Cody Rhodes out of their ass and Paul Heyman out of their ass, and Asuka out of their ass for absolutely no rhyme or reason whatsoever. They're putting Dominic Mysterio and the Judgment Day on NXT. They're trying to get the Bloodline on NXT, and they're trying to get Baron Corbin on NXT, and they're trying to get Becky Lynch on NXT. And then I got people, and especially Jay. I'm going to be ranting even more on Jay. I swear to God. Jay's in for a rude fucking awakening next week. I got to hear people tell me, well, what do you expect NXT to do? You expect NXT to roll over and give them a piece of that marketing share? Well, I don't know. How about they make do with the roster that they fucking have? You fucking retards. How about they make do with the roster that they have? Because if you haven't been paying attention, which I know you haven't, you've been paying attention, NXT has deteriorated. The brand has absolutely zero identity. It's a thrown together show with absolutely no direction whatsoever. Shit is booked on the fly. They're creating no new stars whatsoever. They're not building the future. And no, you fucking dumbasses. Carmelo Hayes doesn't count. Braun Breaker doesn't count. Tiffany Stratton doesn't count. Roxanne Perez doesn't count. Blair Davenport doesn't count. The Creed brothers don't count. Tyler Bate don't count. Wesley don't count. Dijak, Tony D, Ilya Dragunov, they do not count. You know why they don't count? Because they were already made individuals before WWE started bringing in main roster talent for NXT. They were already solidified main roster talent call-ups before WWE started bringing in Becky Lynch and Baron Corbin and the Judgment Day and Cena and Heyman and Asuka. They were already signed, sealed, and delivered, ready for the main roster. You can't count them. I'm talking about new talent besides those individuals, besides the usual, besides Carmelo, besides Braun Breaker, besides Dijak and Tony D and Dragunov and Stratton and Perez. Who is left when they move up? Who is underneath them? Who have they built up to take the spot of a Tiffany Stratton or a Roxanne Perez or a Carmelo Hayes or a Braun Breaker or a Dragunov? The answer is nobody. I'm sorry to tell you, but once again, fact. I speak objectively, not subjectively. And you're going to be hearing a lot of that throughout this stream. NXT absolutely sucks because the intent of NXT now has become nothing more than a proverbial and figurative pissing match between WWE and AEW. I am over competition. I am over this fucking petty war between NXT and AEW. It doesn't make the shows any more better than they already are. It does not make for good conversations on social media. X is one of the worst inventions ever. Social media has morphed into an absolute cesspool of retardation. And if I didn't have this brand, I would not be on any platforms whatsoever. Because I, quite frankly, do not give a shit. I have to search far and wide to find someone halfway intelligent because everyone on that app has the IQ of a fucking fruit fly. I have to sit here and I have to talk to people as if I've got 9 fucking heads, 16 fucking eyes, 5 fucking noses, and 15 different tongues, and people look at me with this. People look at me like I'm a fucking lunatic. People look at me like I'm a fucking lunatic. Meanwhile, people don't realize that they are just fueling the retardation. They are fueling the toxicity. Honest to God, sometimes I feel bad for Jay. And I'm probably going to tell him that next Thursday. I genuinely feel bad for Jay sometimes because he doesn't even realize how ridiculous he sounds. And I don't give a shit. I'll tell him that to his face. I've told him that to his face. I was having a conversation with him earlier today. Swear to God. How about you make do with what you got? How about you get rid of this whole narrative of, competition. We got to fight back. Oh, yeah, we got to force the tribalism. And we got to protect our market share. Fuck your market share. That company is worth how many billions? They just sold to TKO for what? 23 billion? 24 billion? It's got to be over 10 billion at least. How many fucking billions is WWE worth now? How much money are they getting paid from Saudi Arabia? How much money are they getting paid from NBC Universal? How much money have they gotten paid from Fox? How much fucking money? How much fucking money are they getting paid from all of these individuals? But yet, no, they got to protect their market share for NXT. Guess what? The moment that NXT stops using the main roster talent, I swear to God, that right there will be the moment that NXT goes right back to where it was prior to where it was before they brought in the main roster superstars. You want to claim that the audience is growing year over year? Oh yeah, the audience is growing year over year. No, it's growing simply because of the main roster stars. The fucking moment that those main roster superstars stop appearing on the show is the moment that the show goes downhill. And I am sweating my fucking testicles off right now, ranting and raving about this shit. Motherfucker, man. What's next? You gonna bring Roman Reigns on the show? What's next? Are you gonna bring fucking Charlotte Flair on the show? Yeah, how'd that work out the first time around? Why am I pissed at WWE? It's because of their pettiness. Their pettiness and their hypocrisy. It's a turnoff. And whether you want to admit it or not, it's bad business, and it's actually going to drive people away. Of course, Jay's going to look at me like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, when in reality, he knows, and everyone else knows, whether it be Brad Shepard, whether it be that fucking moron, Raj Giri, whether it be Ryan Satin, whether that be Sean Ross Sapp, I don't care who the fuck it is. Everyone knows that when DJ Storms is talking, everything that comes out of his mouth, my mouth, is 1,000% truth. Whether you want to admit it or not. And if you don't like anything I just said, you don't like the facts, you can suck my balls. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Fuck your money. Fuck the business. And fuck your competition. I speak objectively, not subjectively. I had to get that out. I needed to just let all that out. I'm pretty sure I'm going to let out more. I need to let that out because I'm not going to be able to let that out on the Lightning Flash update because I'm going to be streaming on PWP Nation Facebook page. So I got to be PG Storms. I got to be fucking PG Storms. But right here, I'm rated R. I'm rated R on Tuesdays. Did my mic cut off at any point in time? I hope that you heard all that. We're going to get that trending in the chat. I speak objectively, not subjectively. Get that trending. Anyway, I just needed to get that out. Why don't we move into the pay-per-view? Good. I'm glad that it didn't. You got it all? Good, I'm glad. Finally, this blue snowball mic is working like it fucking should work. FastLane. I'm not going to lie. FastLane, I have not minded the build whatsoever. I have not minded the build to FastLane whatsoever. FastLane has actually been built up pretty decently. And WWE TV, specifically Raw or SmackDown, not NXT, because fuck NXT. But Raw and SmackDown have actually been pretty decent the last couple weeks. We've been getting a lot of decent material from the in-ring wrestling. Stories have been developing. I'm pretty sure we're gonna at least get one more match. I mean, we should get at least one more match for FastLane. We only have 5. But I am actually looking forward to FastLane. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. It should be a decent show. And the majority of WWE Premium Live events outside of the Royal Rumble and SummerSlam, every other Premium Live event for WWE has been very good. So I'm actually interested in seeing what FastLane produces. It looks like a pretty decent show. And I hope that pro wrestling continues its momentum from last weekend, because last weekend was a very good weekend. NXT No Mercy, very solid. WrestleDream was spectacular. So if we can get a good show with FastLane, then I think we are developing ourselves on a nice little hot streak. We got a lot of good stuff going on in the world of pro wrestling across both WWE and AEW TV. Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, and Asuka. This is a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. Now, this match clearly was made because WWE could not bear to leave Charlotte Flair off of a WWE Premium Live event and not have her in the championship title hunt. Because, I mean, if Charlotte Flair's on TV, we got to get her in the title scene. Even with Vince McMahon recovering from spinal surgery, we still cannot escape this fucking selfish piece of shit bitch, Charlotte Flair. That's why it's fuck Charlotte Flair all day, every day. Because she's a piece of garbage. This is pretty much the same match that we're going to get, that we got at SummerSlam with Bianca, Asuka, and Charlotte. And that wasn't even all that good. That was very, very forgettable, very botchy, very sloppy at times. But I will say this, because Io's involved, I'm actually a little bit more intrigued. I'm intrigued, but at the same point in time, I'm nervous. Because listen, if Charlotte Flair is in a championship match, there is a good chance that she could end up walking out the champion, and I'll probably have an aneurysm while I'm taking my notes. But as far as this match goes, this is the same typical triple threat match when it comes to WWE and Charlotte Flair. And more likely than not, we're going to see Asuka take the pin. It happened with Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. It's happened with Rhea Ripley at Backlash, I remember a few years back. It happened with Carmella and Becky Lynch back in January of 2019. I mean, it's the same shit over and over again. If Charlotte Flair is in a triple threat match, she is not taking the fall. Ultimately, this is going to lead to Charlotte Flair and Io Sky potentially either at Crown Jewel or at Survivor Series. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, I would be dead shocked if Io Sky manages to make it to 2024 with that championship. She should make it to 2024 with that championship because there is a story, a very simple shoe-in story that is waiting to play out with Bayley. Bayley and Io, that right there could very well be a defining moment for Io. If Bayley wins the Women's Royal Rumble, which I think that she could be the number one seed to win that match. I think she would be the best possible option to win that match. Bayley wins the Rumble, and we get a legit build towards the Damage Control leader and a Damage Control disciple feuding over the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania, and Io beats Bayley at WrestleMania. That right there would be a defining moment for Io. It would elevate her, it would elevate the title, and it would elevate her career to the next level. That's what Io needs. Other than Bayley, I really don't know who would be in top contention of winning the Women's Royal Rumble. Right now, it is a very, very, very unpredictable subject. Simply because of the fact that I cannot name you an individual right now that is worthy of winning the Women's Royal Rumble outside of Bayley. Maybe Tiffany Stratton, maybe Roxanne Perez, if they decide to call him up, but feels like it's too early for him. Bayley would be the safe bet. And to answer your question, James Puniseka, yes, Ric Flair is the father of Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is Ric Flair's daughter. She's not as good as her father, though. Don't get that twisted. But truth be told, again, like I said, I would be shocked if Io manages to make it through the rest of the year with that title. Do I see her losing the title here? I mean, it's a 50-50 shot. I wouldn't have her lose the title. I would have her retain. And to be quite honest with you, I would say it's probably a little bit more towards her retaining rather than her losing. I think that she has about a 55 to 45% chance of retaining, But when we get a one-on-one match with her and Charlotte Flair, I mean, you think that WWE with Vince back in charge, and don't give me the bullshit, Vince is back in charge. I don't give a fuck if he's recovering from spinal surgery or not. Vince is in charge, and he's pulling the strings. If you think that Vince McMahon is going to allow Io Sky to pin Charlotte Flair clean, I mean, you're out of your motherfucking mind. But I think I'm going to go with the safe bet here. I do believe that Io will retain, but if she's retaining, sure as hell ain't pinning Charlotte, because if she pins Charlotte, Charlotte cannot get her way back into the title scene. I'm pretty sure they'll manipulate a way for her to get back in there anyway, but of course, Io is not going to pin Charlotte. Let's be real here. Io retains. Io retains. She pins Asuka. Cody Rhodes. Cody, adrenaline in my soul. Oh! Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso. Cody and Jey, they're taking on the Judgment Day, that being Finn Balor and Senor Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. I'm actually going to throw it out there. There's actually a good chance that Damian Priest could cash in. Now, I believe WrestleVotes came out with a post. I can't remember if it was from today or if it was from yesterday, but WrestleVotes came out with a rather intriguing post stating that FastLane could very well be a little bit more unpredictable than many people think. I'm not really sure what that means, but if you want to talk about unpredictable, I think that Damian Priest cashing in his Money in the Bank contract would be rather unpredictable because we have not seen a contract cash-in tease from Damian Priest in quite some time. So, if anything, Damian Priest teasing a cash-in, I think that that could be potentially on the table for FastLane. Why was this match booked? Why was this match booked between Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso taking on the Judgment Day? There's only two logical reasons that I could honestly come up with. Well, maybe three. The third one I don't agree with. The third one would be terrible. The third one would be absolutely fucking ridiculous if that's the case. But number one, obviously, there was no way that they were going to leave Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso off of a premium live event. Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes were on Payback, but Cody Rhodes, he was on the Grayson Waller effect. I mean, you have Cody Rhodes coming out of a feud with Brock Lesnar, one of the worst feuds of the entire fucking year, and you have him on a fucking talk show on a pay-per-view. You have him on a fucking talk show on a pay-per-view. And Jey Uso, he merely made his return to WWE in the Grayson Waller effect, where he super kicked Grayson Waller after Cody brought him out. So you can't leave Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes off the show in a wrestling capacity. You can't do that. That's number one. Number two, Damian Priest and Finn Balor have been vital characters to WWE television, so you can't leave them off the pay-per-view. And the only other reason, besides the third reason, which again, I am not going to pay any attention because I don't agree with that shit. The second reason that I honestly believe that they're putting this on the show, and this realistically is the only logical reason, they're going to have Judgment Day retain with the help of J.D. McDonough, and J.D. McDonough, finally, after all this time, J.D. McDonough is going to become a full-fledged member of the Judgment Day. They've been teasing it for how many weeks now? Whenever Judgment Day is in need of assistance, J.D. McDonough has always been there. He helped them win the tag team titles. He helped them retain the tag team titles. He's been there for Dominic when Dominic has needed him. Even Rhea Ripley is starting to warm up to him. What are they waiting for? May as well make it official at FastLane. J.D. McDonough helps the Judgment Day retain the tag team titles over Cody and Jey, and J.D. McDonough becomes an official member of the Judgment Day, and we start building towards a War Games match between Cody, Jey, KO, Sammy versus the Judgment Day with J.D. McDonough as an official member of their group. I've seen some people throwing it out there that Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes are going to win the tag team titles, and that's going to be Cody Rhodes' gateway towards getting the trade over to SmackDown, and that's going to be his gateway towards getting a rematch with Roman at WrestleMania. Although I really don't understand why we need him to win the tag team titles just to get traded over to SmackDown. Meanwhile, Adam Pearce has mentioned for the last 5 fucking weeks that there is going to be a trade between Raw and SmackDown. Jey was traded from SmackDown to Raw, so now there's going to be a trade over to SmackDown. The only logical trade is Cody Rhodes. Who the fuck else are they going to trade over to SmackDown? There's legitimately no one. You're not going to trade Kevin Owens over to SmackDown. You're not going to trade Sami Zayn over to SmackDown. You're not going to trade Gunther over to SmackDown unless you're going to have Sheamus go after Gunther at WrestleMania next year and Sheamus finally wins the Intercontinental Championship. But Sheamus' contract is actually up in January of 2024. I actually see him being a WWE lifer, but I don't know. Some people have been saying that he could go to AEW. I would not mind that. I would not mind him going to AEW. I think that Sheamus and AEW, Sheamus could put on some really, really, really good matches in AEW. That would be one hell of a signing if Sheamus goes to AEW and Drew McIntyre goes to AEW. That'd be pretty damn good. That'd be pretty damn good if you ask me. I would not mind seeing that whatsoever. Edge could very well be a gateway to getting some big names over from WWE to AEW. And on top of that, some AEW talent could potentially go to WWE. Wardlow, I wouldn't mind. Although it seems like they're trying to repackage Wardlow. It may be too little too late. Unless they reform the Pinnacle with MJF. And MJF and the Pinnacle go up against Adam Cole and his faction. We'll see what happens. But who else is there? Seriously, can anyone answer me that question? Who else is there other than Cody Rhodes that's going to get traded over to SmackDown now that Jey Uso is on Monday Night Raw? No other individual makes any sense. It's actually ridiculous to even think about any other individual. Either way, Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes should not win the tag team titles. I don't know why that's even a thought in anybody's mind. That would be a terrible, terrible decision. You elected to have the Judgment Day beat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and the Judgment Day have taken the tag team titles off of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Why would you contemplate taking the titles off the Judgment Day after a month? Meanwhile, you have a WrestleMania dream match, in a sense. You have a WrestleMania mega match for the tag team titles staring you right in the face with the Judgment Day and a reunited DIY. So why would you even contemplate taking the titles off the Judgment Day? Judgment Day should not lose those titles until WrestleMania. Judgment Day holds the titles to WrestleMania, and then the Judgment Day loses to DIY. Damian Priest cashes in his Money in the Bank contract for the world title, and Damian Priest wins the world championship. Simple. Why would you contemplate taking the titles off of them just to trade Cody Rhodes over to SmackDown? That'd be fucking stupid. That would be legitimately stupid. So if anything, again, the only logical outcome is the Judgment Day retaining with the help of JD McDonough. JD becomes an official member of the Judgment Day, and then we finally get the ball rolling towards Survivor Series in Chicago for a War Games match with the Judgment Day taking on Cody, Jey, Owens, and Zayn. It only makes sense. It only makes sense. Could this be the match of the night? Yeah, it could be match of the night. Matter of fact, I'm predicting it. Yeah, I think it is going to be match of the night. I think that it's either this or the last man standing match that has the potential to be the best match on the show. So we'll see what happens here, but if anything, I got the Judgment Day retaining. I don't know why anyone would even contemplate taking the titles off of the Judgment Day. It would only make sense for Judgment Day to retain, and then we can get the ball rolling towards War Games. Let me take a sip of my ice water. We are approaching 1 hour into the stream. I'm glad that everyone is enjoying the stream. I hope that everyone is having a fun time here on a Thursday. I'll be back on Saturday for the Lightning Flash update. That is going down at 1 p.m. Eastern time like usual. And then on Sunday, I'm throwing it out there, it is the rewind for WWE FastLane at 2 p.m. And it will end a long, long period. It was a busy, busy couple of weeks. The end of September going into the beginning of October has been one hell of a month for the DJ Storms brand. I recently just posted a short from my ISPW vlog. If you want to go check out my ISPW vlog, my ISPW 25-year anniversary vlog that is currently up on the channel right now. We had some mega moments on that show, including a great match between Sean Donovan and GKM. Great grudge match. We had a very good match with Crowbar and Ray Kalitri for the ISPW Tri-State title. And then we saw the epic return of Rick Recon. And my God, have I missed Rick Recon. It is great to have Rick Recon back. He is a big, 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 big fan of the DJ Storms brand. And I am a big fan of him. And hopefully one day I'll be able to get him back on the channel, because when Rick Recon's on the channel, things are better. And I'm very, very fortunate that I was able to interview Rick Recon back in February. If you guys missed that, please go check that out. Eye of the Storm with Rick Recon. Let's continue on with Fastlane, shall we? The Latino World Order. They are going up against Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. And I will be talking about this match specifically a little bit more in depth on Saturday's Lightning Flash update, because there's a report going around that Jade Cargill could very well make her WWE debut at Fastlane. The brand that she could very well be associated with would be Raw. However, Bobby Lashley did state that he would actually love to have Jade Cargill as a part of his faction. If anything, I think that Jade Cargill would fit beautifully with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. She would fit like a glove right then and there. She could start out as a manager, and hopefully, since she is training in the PC, she could very well learn at a rapid pace. But in no way, shape, or form should Jade Cargill be pushed to the moon on the main roster like that. You can't do that. I don't give a fuck how she looks. I don't give a fuck if she's got a megastar body or if she can talk. If she cannot wrestle like an Io Sky, she ain't wrestling like a Bianca Belair, she should not be on main roster TV. If anything, she should very well be the woman to take the NXT Women's Championship off of Becky Lynch. That would be a much better route to go, rather than thrusting her on the main roster for no reason whatsoever other than the fact that, oh, she's got a megastar body. I don't give a fuck how she looks. I don't give a fuck if you have 16 abs. If you can't wrestle, you should not be on TV, on the main roster, let alone on the main roster. Latino World Order, though. Latino World Order. This is actually a little interesting. Not because of the Jade Cargill news, but it's rather interesting because Dragon Lee was at SmackDown last week. And when Rey Mysterio challenged the faction of Lashley and the Profits at Fastlane, Dragon Lee tried to jump the barricade when the Profits were beating down Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Dragon Lee tried to jump the barricade. So I wonder, since Dragon Lee is fighting Austin Theory tomorrow on SmackDown, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to assume that we could potentially see Dragon Lee make his main roster premium live event debut at Fastlane, and we see Dragon Lee teaming with Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar against the Street Profits. And if anything, I think that Dragon Lee would benefit immensely from being paired with Rey Mysterio. Dragon Lee, if you haven't seen Dragon Lee, I mean, he's fantastic. He put on an amazing match with Roosh back at Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor 2022. That was one hell of a match. If you guys have not seen that match, go back to July of last year and go watch Roosh versus Dragon Lee at Death Before Dishonor. Absolutely fantastic match. Another thing I will say, I think that this is going to do a very good job at helping advance the inevitable heel turn of Santos Escobar. Because Santos Escobar, as of right now, they are only leading towards a heel turn. I don't really understand why they would be leading towards anything else but a heel turn for Santos Escobar. He lost to Rey Mysterio. He lost to Rey Mysterio last week on SmackDown. That's only going to facilitate the heel turn. The question is, when is he going to turn heel? He hasn't really shown too many signs of it. They've teased it. They've teased it a little bit here or there, but he's never shown full-blown signs of a heel turn. I have not really seen him act out. I haven't really seen him show a little bit more pushback. I haven't really seen him really get into it with Rey and really get frustrated to a point where, yeah, he's going to turn heel. It's a very, very slow burn. Same thing with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, it's a very, very slow burn with McIntyre and the heel turn that they have going on with McIntyre. However, Lashley and the Profits, I do believe that this is going to be a beneficial win for them. There's no reason why the Latino World Order needs to win this. Rey's already the United States champion, and the story here is the Latino World Order growing frustrated, and Santos specifically growing frustrated because he cannot seem to get the job done. And ultimately, all of that frustration, all of that anger should result in a heel turn. Do I think he needs a heel turn? No, he doesn't need a heel turn. Well, what am I saying? I don't think. I know he doesn't need a heel turn. He's been getting mega babyface reactions all summer long. Why does he need a heel turn? The heel turn, to me, honest to God, seems unnecessary. And if anything, do you really trust Vince McMahon to do the right thing with Santos Escobar? Do you really trust Vince McMahon to do the right thing with Santos Escobar after he breaks him away from Rey Mysterio? I don't. If anything, Santos Escobar right now is one of the luckiest individuals in the company because he is learning from Rey Mysterio. He's being protected by Rey Mysterio. He has the Rey Mysterio relevant card right now. But when he loses that card, when that card gets shredded, when that Rey Mysterio relevant card gets shredded, how is Santos Escobar going to generate any credibility for himself? You really think Vince is going to give him the opportunity? Yeah, they could turn him heel, but if you remember down in NXT, when he was a heel, he would always rely on Legado del Fantasma for assistance. It honestly reminded me of when Jinder Mahal would constantly rely on the fucking Singh brothers for assistance down in, not in NXT, on SmackDown when he was the WWE champion, a time that I would really like to forget, to be quite honest with you. I really don't understand why it's necessary to turn Santos heel, but, I mean, I guess I can't really complain too much because it is a serious story that they have going on, and that's all I've wanted with WWE. All I've wanted with the WWE is I have wanted serious storytelling. I have not wanted jokes. I have not wanted any sports entertainment bullshit. That is the bane of pro wrestling. I have wanted serious, legitimate stories giving us a reason to tune in to SmackDown every single week, and we're getting that because now we're seeing Santos Escobar slowly become frustrated little by little to a point where he will snap on Rey Mysterio. For all we know, it could very well result in a match at WrestleMania. Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar for the United States Championship. So we'll see what happens. But in the end, the team of Lashley and the Profits should definitely come out victorious here. There's no reason why they shouldn't. If anything, Lashley and the Profits, I think Lashley and the Profits would be great contenders for Judgment Day and the tag team titles. Maybe we get a three-way War Games match. Who knows? Maybe Carmelo Hayes gets called up to the main roster. Maybe we get KO, Sammy, Cody, Jay versus the Judgment Day versus Lashley, the Profits, and Carmelo Hayes. Who knows? Who knows? I think that would be interesting. I think that would get all of those individuals in a major spotlight. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But this should result in a victory for Lashley and the Profits, and the slow burn of Santos Escobar's heel turn will continue. We got John Cena and the megastar LA Knight. Yeah. He is taking on Jimmy Uso, who I still don't know why the fuck he is even contemplating getting back into the bloodline. Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. There are reports going around that they are looking towards Cena and Sikoa as a future big-time matchup on a major pay-per-view. Some people are calling it to happen at potentially the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. I would not mind that. But it was supposed to be AJ Styles. That did not happen. That did not happen because the Bloodline took out AJ Styles leading up to the contract signing. I'm assuming that AJ Styles will probably be in contention for a potential world title match against Roman sometime after Crown Jewel. If it's not Cena, then it's got to be Styles. If it's not Cena, it's got to be Styles. I really don't understand who else is there, unless you're going to put LA Knight up against Roman, which would be a terrible idea, unless you're going to have LA Knight win. But why would you put LA Knight up against Roman at this stage right now when, realistically speaking, Roman Reigns doesn't look like he's ever losing that fucking championship? And at this rate, I may very well have to boycott WWE because of their just growing fetish with Roman. I really don't understand it. Why does he need to continue? Roman's had a career that many people would kill for. What good is his title reign doing right now? This is what people don't understand. Roman Reigns is doing more harm as the champion than good. And I got to be the one to educate people on this topic because everyone else is too much of a retard to understand. The shit that I do for the IWC. But LA Knight and John Cena taking on Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. There's no doubt in my mind that this is facilitating some type of a match. I don't know who, I don't know what, but at the end of the day, we are absolutely looking at Roman Reigns' next challenger. Is it LA Knight or is it John Cena? I don't know. For all we know, if Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa don't get the job done, we could very well see a number one contenders match at some point on SmackDown this month. We could very well see John Cena versus LA Knight on SmackDown, and the winner will probably go to Crown Jewel to challenge Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship, which I wouldn't mind whatsoever. I think that would be a very good match. But at the end of the day, what is it ultimately going to do? We've already seen the John Cena feud. We've seen Roman Reigns fight John Cena twice. We've seen that shit, and it was a very lackluster build going into SummerSlam. The match itself was fine, but it was certainly not memorable whatsoever. They did not give John Cena and Roman Reigns the proper reverence. And I mean reverence. They did not give them the proper reverence that they should have given them going into their match at SummerSlam 2021. As far as LA Knight goes, it's fresh. It makes sense because, I mean, LA Knight, he's the biggest babyface in the company as we speak. And Roman Reigns, he's the biggest heel. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Roman Reigns is not the biggest heel. Gunther is the biggest heel. He's also the best heel in WWE. Gunther's legitimately the best thing about WWE TV outside of LA Knight. But you got LA Knight. I don't understand why anyone would even contemplate putting LA Knight up against Roman Reigns unless you're going to pull the trigger. Think Roman Reigns is losing at Crown Jewel? You think they're going to pull the trigger on Roman Reigns losing the Undisputed Championship at Crown Jewel? They didn't even have him defend the championship. They didn't even have him defend the championship at the 1,000th day celebration back at Night of Champions in May. So if they didn't even have him defend the championship, why would they even bother? Why would they even bother contemplating having him lose the championship at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia to LA Knight of all people? LA Knight should be the guy that's beating Roman. He's the best guy to do it right now. LA Knight is the best babyface in the company. There's no reason why he shouldn't be a world champion. The reactions that he gets are that of a world heavyweight champion. But is WWE going to pull the trigger on that? Of course not, because that would be the right thing to do. When has WWE willingly gone out of their way to do the right thing? The answer is never. But John Cena and LA Knight, I don't understand how you don't give him the win. I really don't understand how you don't give him the win. It makes perfect sense to give him the win. And then more likely than not, we're going to get a number one contenders match between these two on SmackDown. Winner will fight Roman at Crown Jewel. And then after that, Roman Reigns will go into a program with AJ Styles. I'm not sure if that's going to be at Survivor Series. I'm not sure if that's going to be at the Royal Rumble. I'm assuming it'll probably have something to do with Survivor Series, and then it'll probably morph into the Royal Rumble. Maybe we get 2 matches out of it, because we haven't seen this version of AJ Styles take on this version of Roman. We haven't seen AJ and Roman since 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Roman Reigns won both of those matches, and if anything, it was pretty much a burial of AJ Styles, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Sorry to tell you, but it was. Thankfully, AJ Styles recovered. But LA Knight and John Cena, again, I don't understand how you don't give them the win here. The main event, or the match that should be the main event, Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura in a last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, initially, I was saying that this feud has absolutely no heat. The feud has absolutely no heat, and I was right about it because it didn't. The feud had absolutely no heat whatsoever. Nakamura legitimately resonated to everyone as, yeah, this guy is a clear-cut interim challenger. This guy is nothing more than an interim challenger for Seth Rollins and the World Heavyweight Championship. And it was true. It came off like that. The match that they had at Payback was a very good match, don't get me wrong. It was a very good match in the sense that they always have good chemistry, but no one really believed that Nakamura was going to win the World Heavyweight Championship. No one really believes that now. However, I need to give WWE credit. I need to give them credit. And once again, like I said, I'm fair. I'm very, very, very fair. WWE, over the course of the last 2 to 3 weeks or so, has done a very, very good job at building up the rematch between Rollins and Nakamura at FastLane. I thought it was going to be a triple threat match with Ricochet, but a last man standing match with Nakamura and Seth Rollins, that will do just fine. If you guys remember, back at Money in the Bank 2018, Shinsuke Nakamura actually had a damn good last man standing match with AJ Styles at that time. He didn't win, but it was a damn good match. It was in Chicago too. So I don't understand how this can be a bad match. If anything, this could very well be better than the match with AJ Styles if they truthfully want it to be. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be awesome. Now, the one thing I have to give WWE credit for is they really ramped up Nakamura's viciousness. Nakamura was very calm. He was very, cool and collected and methodical. He didn't really show too much teeth during the build for Payback. But in recent weeks, he's beaten Ricochet with a steel chair. He's delivering back suplexes to Seth Rollins on the announce table. He's giving him Kinshasas right in the back of the neck. I like it. He's turned up the viciousness. And Nakamura, we're going to talk about it more in the Lightning Flash update, but the promo that Rollins specifically cut on Raw, the promo with Seth Rollins and Michael Cole, it sounded very, very genuine. It sounded real. And that gives the fans more of a reason to want to get behind Seth Rollins. That gives the fans more of a reason to want to see Seth Rollins beat Shinsuke Nakamura. This is the first ever time that Seth Rollins has ever been in a last man standing match. It's shit like that that is going to make people want to root for Seth Rollins to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, do we see a cash-in by Damian Priest? I don't know. I do not know. Possibly. I'm not going to rule it out. I don't think that it's a definite. I don't think that it's definitely not going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, the report from WrestleVotes, unpredictability. The show is not going to be as predictable as some people think. Well, the only unpredictable thing that I can honestly think of is Damian Priest cashing in and winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, personally, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that yet, at least, simply because of the fact that Seth Rollins, he's been killing it as the world champion. Seth Rollins is one of the top three things about WWE, period. It's Gunther, it's LA Knight, and then it's Seth Rollins. Why would you even contemplate taking the title off of him? How long has he held it for? 5 months? You're really going to contemplate taking the title off of Rollins after 5 months? Not even? 30 days, I think, somewhere around that vicinity range. This is the best world title run that Seth Rollins has been on. Outside of the match at Money in the Bank with Finn Balor, every match that Seth Rollins has delivered as the World Heavyweight Champion has been a banger. The match with Braun Breaker on NXT, that may have been his best match as World Champion. The match with Damian Priest on Raw, the match with Finn Balor at SummerSlam, that was the best Finn Balor-Seth Rollins match that they've ever produced. So I don't understand why anyone would even contemplate about Seth Rollins losing the World Heavyweight Championship. Some people want Nakamura to win. Listen, I like Nakamura. I think Nakamura is fantastic. This is probably the best heel version of Nakamura that we've gotten, although I do appreciate his wittiness when he was feuding with AJ Styles. That was a very, very witty, very nonchalant Shinsuke Nakamura that really brought out Nakamura's comedic side. Nakamura can be very, very funny if you give him the opportunity to be. But in the end, as much as I want to see Nakamura in a better position, Nakamura is not a priority. Seth Rollins is the priority here. If Rollins is losing the championship, you do have a better shot of Damian Priest cashing in and winning the world title from Seth Rollins. You have a better shot at that happening more so than you do Shinsuke Nakamura actually defeating Seth Rollins to become the World Heavyweight Champion. It'll be a great match, though. I thoroughly believe it'll be a great match. I think it'll blow their payback match out of the water. I think it could very well be the best Seth Rollins Shinsuke Nakamura match that we've ever seen. I think it's going to be a really, 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 really fun, really chaotic match. I think that they're going to get very creative. They're going to get innovative. And I think that both men are going to look great, but ultimately, Seth Rollins is going to retain, as he should. And to be quite honest with you, even though it would be unpredictable, and even though I would appreciate it, I would not, and I mean I would not contemplate having Damian Priest cash in. Damian Priest should cash in on a much bigger stage. And Seth Rollins needs to continue his reign as World Heavyweight Champion going into the latter months. Seth Rollins is barely getting his feet wet as the World Heavyweight Champion, and there are so many, and I mean so many more matches to be had with Seth Rollins as the World Heavyweight Champion. Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. Seth Rollins and potentially a heel Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins and Ricochet. Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, if they want to go that far. Seth Rollins and Gunther. Why would you want to take the title off of Seth Rollins when there's so much left on the table for Rollins to do? Rollins has the potential of having one of the best world title reigns of the modern era if they want to have him have that reign by putting him against those guys that I just named. Think about Rollins and Ricochet. I don't think we've ever seen a Rollins versus Ricochet match. We get that match at Crown Jewel at Saudi Arabia. That would be amazing. Fantastic. Why wouldn't you want that? Seriously. Why would you not want that? I really, really genuinely hope that they are not contemplating taking the title off of Rollins, whether it be giving it to Nakamura or whether it be giving it to Damian Priest, because there is so much more to be done with Rollins as the World Heavyweight Champion. That is why I'm going with him to retain. That's all I got. That is all I got. Hour and 20. Solid time, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this stream. Hope you enjoyed my rant in the beginning, and I hope you enjoyed my analytical dissection of everything that's going down at FastLane this Saturday night. Do not forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all of those links in the description of this very video. Check out all of our sponsors, including CIS Recruiters, PWP Nation, and Brittany K. Of course, please make sure you tune into the LFU on Saturday at 1 p.m. and the Rewind on Sunday at 2 p.m. And then next Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, me and Jay Leto are back in business with World of Wrestling. You are going to want to tune in. Plenty, and I mean plenty of good material to discuss. But until then, I am DJ Storms, and this has been The Rundown. But before we get out of here, y'all got to answer the question because it's incredibly vital. Ladies and gents, who runs the IWC? Let me take a sip of my ice water here. Wow. I will tell you who runs the IWC. Who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you forget it.
'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.